Hi, colleagues. Once again, Mr. D. Here, I want to talk about the idea of AI giving the right answer and giving the wrong answer. Now, in this particular session, I wanted it to answer a question which is not a multiple choice to be able to tell me, to answer these questions that are asked in this. The first one requires us that we define Newton's first law. That's quite straightforward. Then the second one requires it to calculate the magnitude of F, which is this force which is applied here. Now, I'm just going to jump straight to that part because I found it to be quite interesting. Now, what happened here is it sort of went on to analyze what is in the image, and then it was able to explain that the frictional force on the two blocks was working against the applied force, but it specifically said that the horizontal component of and this is where a lot of learners will get lost. And the way it is explained, it sort of simplifies lives. So instead of relying on just a textbook, which of course will explain in a generic way what to do when you have a particular force acting at an angle to the horizontal, or maybe to the vertical, but in this case we're talking the horizontal. Then this one is sort of explaining to the problem that the learner was struggling with. So it is not a matter of the learner looking at a generic situation and therefore just simply trying to apply it. It is a learner having tried to do this and maybe having done it incorrectly and having a feedback on the actual question, explaining clearly what needed to be done. And the AI goes on to do the calculation and eventually getting 9.24 newtons. And every step along the way, it is explaining what is happening, and this is all correct. And this is amazing. But what could have happened? Another thing that is possible is that it could have given me the wrong answer, and that is why I believe AI should be more used by the teachers at this point than the learners, because teachers will be able to see that this is wrong and then be able to give feedback, be able to correct it, and therefore give the correct thing to the learners. Of course, with time, I would advocate for a situation where your top learners should be able to see if the AI is giving the wrong answer and argue it and be able to say this is where it is wrong, because in that way we would be creating learners, or will be developing learners that can be able to pinpoint something wrong in this future, which is going to be controlled or driven by AI. We need to be able to say something is wrong here, and this is probably what is going to be our specialty in the future, than to just do everything from scratch. So I was quite happy with this. But when it went to the next question, which is about the graph, if we go back here, this is the question that I'm referring to, which is about the graph, and it is talking about the string breaking between the two blocks. So this string here breaks, and of course the question is trying to find out if learners understand what is going to happen to block P and what is going to happen to Q. At the same time, they should be able to see the representation graphically, and of course as a teacher you will know what is going to happen here. But let's just go and see what the AI does. It goes on to explain a lot about the string and what is likely to happen. But the problem is that it sort of doesn't see which line or which portion of the graph is which alphabet. So it mixes the alphabets, and in that way it doesn't answer correctly. And it could be easy to dismiss it and then just say it is wrong. But it is a matter of that it didn't see this correctly. So what I did was to engage the response that it gave me and say, you are mixing up the graph lines. Portion Z is a horizontal string parallel to the x-axis. X is the portion with the positive gradient, and Y is the portion with the negative gradient. Immediately I gave this feedback. It is able to explain clearly what is happening, and this you can copy as notes that learners will use to that question, and therefore responding to that question. In fact, there is a lot that I think you can do with this tool, because you could also just create notes and just take questions, and because what is happening at the moment, learners do see the memorandum with the exam papers, but they do not have the understanding of what concepts were applied, because the memorandum is just written the correct solution without any step being explained. And this tool can actually help you to explain those steps. So I just wanted to highlight that that AI should be part of what we are really embracing as educators, because it's going to make our lives very easy in the future. Thank you.